Good morning.
Hey guys, what's up? It's Yellowmotion here and thanks for tuning into the channel. Now in this video, I'd like to discuss and give you my thoughts to Tekken 7 since the beginning of its arcade launch back in March this year. For now, I only talk about the developments of the game itself, regarding the updates, news and the marketing of the game. I won't talk about the mechanics, gameplay, story or the characters. Instead, those are topics that I have in mind for other videos in the future, where I'll be discussing and giving you my thoughts to them too, so keep that in mind. Now, this is it guys, I want to get straight to the point with this one, the moment we've all been waiting for some exciting news and reveals from Tekken 7, since it's been several months without anything, right? And now, with the recent confirmation of Harada during Master Cup 8, I believe that we all should be very excited for the global tournament that's taking place on December 12th in Japan. So you may ask, what will the big news or reveal be, right? Is it another announcement for another tournament maybe? Well, no, not exactly. We've been there before, disappointed back in July, and that surely won't happen again. But I think that I have a very solid answer to what we're going to see and get on December 12th. And I can say that I'm almost 100% sure that it's going to be the next big expansion to the arcade version of Tekken 7. You know, just like in the previous games where arcade expansions were revealed for Tekken 6, which was Tekken 6 Bloodline Rebellion, and for Tekken Tag 2, which was Tekken Tag 2 Unlimited. You can also count Tekken 5 Dark Resurrection for that, the arcade expansion of Tekken 5, which in this case got a separate release as well for PSP and PS3. So yeah, I believe that on December 12th, the same will be shown and revealed for Tekken 7, along with its brand new arcade trailer showcasing just that. Now, how am I sure of all that? Well, I'll tell you in a bit later. But first, I'd like to start off from the beginning to make this more understandable for you guys, and to give you my point of view on it. And also, since this is the first time you'll hear me talk about Tekken 7, therefore I've got quite some stuff to say and to cover, so let's get right into it with this one. It's been now more than 9.5 months since the full arcade release of Tekken 7 in Japan, which was on March 18, 2015, and it will be almost 10 months when we hit December 12th. Keep that in mind because that's important. During these several months, I've come across many people that are not well aware of how the arcade business and how the arcade side of Tekken works. And in my opinion, why the arcade version of Tekken 7 needs to be separated entirely from the console version, regarding the news, marketing and release. I'm not saying that these are two different games to be looked at, but there's a difference to where it's focused on, depending on their target audiences. One part are the arcade players, mostly in Japan and Korea, while the other ones are the console gamers, which are basically everyone else around the globe. And during these several months since its release, it's been only focused on the arcade version. So you might think, why focus on the arcade version while the huge majority of the gamers are on consoles, right? Why not follow the same similar paths to games like Street Fighter V or Mortal Kombat X when they know what they're doing, right? Well, times change, especially when it comes to this decade of gaming, with things like pre-orders, DLC, season passes, exclusive betas and early access. Nowadays, you see a trailer of a new game and immediately you're encouraged to pre-order it for some extra bonus features or exclusive content. But Tekken has always stuck to its arcade roots and its business model since Tekken 1, and right now the same applies with Tekken 7. But in my opinion, that got many people confused because almost everyone thought that this is the marketing for consoles, which was not the case. For example, when several characters were revealed for Tekken 7, very few understood in my opinion that these reveal trailers were mostly focused to the arcade players, not the console gamers. Sure, everybody saw it and gave their own opinion, just like it should have been. But many would say that the marketing of Bandai Namco was really bad. It would be compared all the time to the reveal trailers of Street Fighter V and the way how Capcom was doing it right to build up the hype for the game. But you have to understand that Tekken's always been in the arcade business since Tekken 1, and they got a good business relationship in the arcade sectors for many years, especially in Japan and Korea. Why fix it when it's not broken, right? You can say that now for other fighting game franchises that are being developed straight for consoles, and for that reason, their marketing strategy and planning will be different compared with Tekken. With Tekken 7's release this March, many were expecting a console release by this year, but quite few understood that 2015 was the year of the arcades, not the consoles. How Tekken's always worked for the arcades and how it's working right now is that during several months after its release, it generates an amount of revenue. From that constant revenue, it also funds and helps production for the final game itself, before hitting consoles, like the game development itself with extra contents and features, new characters, balance fixes, and the overall quality and the final version of the game itself. In short, by the time the full game comes out on consoles, you're guaranteed to have the most and best polished version of the game yet. And just as Harada said in the past, the game can be updated with extra contents and DLC at no extra cost regarding characters or assets to the game, just like it was with Tekken Tag 2. So, if we take Street Fighter V for example, it needed to focus heavily on the marketing and the promotion of the game. Capcom's strategy to Street Fighter V was completely different compared to Tekken 7 for the arcades. Their job was to make good trailers, showcase the quality of the game, and hype you up for it as much as possible. So each time there was a new character reveal trailer for Street Fighter V, it had to look good and slick in every way possible. It surely was better edited, executed, and the hype level was always top notch. But that was the whole point of Capcom, because after all, they were focused on the console gamers all around the globe. And they need you to convince to pre-order the game right away and basically help fund the game during the development of it. And everybody was surely hyped for Street Fighter V. And for a good reason. You also have to see that Harada and Ono are both buddies, you have to understand that. They've also supported each other jokingly in the strangest ways, like Ono crashing in on Harada's Tekken 7 panel presenting the Street Fighter V pre-orders.
So expensive. Too expensive. So maybe you will be buying in the Best Buy and Walmart and the my candidate this year. Why PlayStation 4 exclusive? Shut up. So next round, please.
They're always joking and having fun with each other.
And my name is Justin Wong. And Capcom is
Go Justin!
Sax. Give me more prize. Yeah. Alright, okay.
So, in my opinion, Bandai Namco didn't need to heavily focus on the marketing of the game just yet, because 2015 is the year of the arcades, and their audience were only the arcade players. But it's fine that you have your own opinion about this, because after all, that also had some side effects to the hype of Tekken 7. And that's also a reason why we haven't seen Tekken 7 at major events like E3, Gamescom, and even Tokyo Game Show. But they of course have another separate strategy ready for the consoles, and it will mostly come in 2016. But the PR for consoles has officially started back in October, when during PlayStation's Paris Games Week 2015, Ono revealed a special character for Street Fighter V. And that special character was none other than Harada himself. He appeared along with Michael Murray announcing Tekken 7 for the PS4 along with a teaser trailer. Although it wasn't said exclusive to PS4 only, it was mentioned that it would get PS4 exclusive content, meaning that it surely is possible and probably will come to the Xbox One as well. I'm pretty sure of that because since Tekken 7 is being developed with the Unreal Engine 4, and if you look at the platform support of Unreal Engine 4, it supports PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, but as we can see there is no support for all gen consoles. So Tekken 7 for PS3 and Xbox 360 won't happen. Back at EVO 2015, Harada said that they had some couple of more announcements in store this year.
And this isn't all for Tekken 7. We have a few big announcements coming later this year, as well as some major tournaments, so look forward to it.
One of them, as we know by now, was the console announcement at Paris Games Week 2015, but we still have the global tournament left at the end of the year. And just as I said at the beginning, I believe that we'll get a brand new arcade expansion trailer to Tekken 7 that's mostly similar to Tekken 5 Dark Resurrection and Tekken 6 Bloodline Rebellion.
Tekken 6 Bloodline Rebellion.
In these past expansion trailers, many new things were added and featured. Mostly 2 new characters being Dragunov and Lily for Tekken 5 Dark Resurrection, and Lars and Alyssa for Tekken 6 Bloodline Rebellion. Also, several new stages, new customizations, graphic improvements and features are always shown in those trailers. So in this case, it's very well possible that we'll see 2 more entirely brand new characters being revealed for Tekken 7 based on these previous trailers. Or instead of 2 new characters, it could also mean the return of characters that we haven't seen in the story since Tekken 2. I'm talking about Jun Kazama and Kunimitsu, and that surely would be awesome. And what I believe will also happen is that we'll get to see several characters from the old roster revealed in the trailer. So characters like Nina and Anna Williams, Lei Wulong, Li Chaolan, Armor King, Raven, Bob, Miguel, Christy, Kuma and possibly many more. This is pure my speculation, but since those characters are not being revealed yet to Tekken 7, it certainly could happen and shown in that upcoming trailer at December. But how am I sure of this, that we'll get that new trailer to Tekken 7? Well, for that we have to look at the previous games and their developments in the past. Remember when I said it's now been roughly 9.5 months after the arcade release in Japan, and it will be almost 10 when we hit December 12? We haven't got any new stuff from Tekken since the last character reveal of Kazumi Mishima back in June. If we look at the previous Tekken games, this is coincidentally the same time frame as we are right now with Tekken 7. For example, when the trailer for Tekken 5 Dark Resurrection was revealed in September 2005 for the arcades, it was roughly 10 months after the initial arcade release of Tekken 5 in Japan, which was in November 2004, and here the gap was also 10 months. The same happened for Tekken 6 Bloodline Rebellion, when the full arcade expansion trailer got revealed in September 2008. That was also roughly 9 months after the arcade release of Tekken 6, which was in December 2007. In here we have a 9-month gap. You see where I'm going with this, don't you? For Tekken Tag 2, which is a spin-off game, it obviously took less time. Roughly 5 months after the arcade release of Tekken Tag 2 back in September 2011, we got the next arcade expansion trailer called Tekken Tag 2 Unlimited, revealed in February 2012. Since Tekken Tag 2 is a spin-off game, Team obviously didn't need any time and resources to develop and produce things like the story, narration, animations, voiceovers or several redesigns for some characters. So now we're on that point where the arcade version of Tekken 7 is out for more than 9 months, and what better way, place and time to showcase and reveal the brand new trailer for Tekken 7 after the King of Iron Fist Tournament 2015, the biggest Tekken tournament of the year, right? Well guys, this was it for me. I hope you enjoyed the video and found it to be useful or helpful to you in some way. And please remember that after all, this is just me talking and giving you my thoughts and opinion about Tekken 7. Some are just some speculations and my point of view on several subjects. And of course, I would like to know your thoughts on any of these topics as well. Do you think that I'm at the right direction or not? Please discuss it and leave your thoughts in the comments below. I would love to read them. And as always, if you like this video or any of my other Tekken videos, then please hit that like button, share it with your fellow friends, and if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel to be updated and receive more of that Tekken 7 goodness. Alright guys, I see you on the next one. Peace.